What's up, people? Soldiers, warriors, warrior kings. What's happening? Salute y'all. I welcome y'all back to the channel, Black Ops Bang Dog channel. You know, we back in the doghouse chopping it up again. You know, I come talk to my people daily, just to chop it up on a few things that may be on my mind. You know, sometimes it ain't always about conversation. A lot of times you won't see me active. You know, I'm active. So that's how we gonna rock. But today's order of business is just that grit. I've had it before, but I want to speak on the grit because I feel that that's not oftentimes something that represents that our culture, that black people truly represent on a regular basis, that black men represent on a regular basis. Oftentimes we are the slick, you know, the hip-hop slick individuals. And trust me when I tell you that is who we are. That's a part of our culture. Don't get it misconstrued by any stretch of the imagination. That's a part of our culture, prevalent, you know, in our culture. That's who we are. That's what we're going to be. Hip-hop is us. That is our culture, and we push culture for the most part. But the bigger thing is, I also want to show the other side because I come from a background of gritty men. You know, my people down further down south in the Carolinas and things of that nature had land. I had uncles that, you know, ran beagles and things of that nature for hunting and went out hunting and things that had horses, you know, had to get up, had farms and things of that nature, had to turn the grounds over at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning and things of that nature, had them that knew how to drop carburetors and, you know, any and everything. I come from grit. You know, and don't just talk about the men. I ain't just talking about the men. I'm talking about women that, you know, was pretty much equally yoked with that regard to grit. It was equally yoked. My grandmother, boy, she can get out there with the best of them. My mother, she can get out there with the best of them. Not so much with cars and things of that nature, but, you know, dealing with outside, garden, if need be, turning the ground over, putting carpet in their own houses, and I mean, just grit. You know, that bad knuckle blue collar grit. That I don't want to say that that's not represented in our community. It's not represented enough or highlighted enough. That's the point that I'm making. Because we have it all over. I've grown up in it, grown up around it. So that's the purpose of this channel, to show y'all what that look like, what it looks like, what it represents. There's gonna be certain times that you see me, I'm fly as I don't know what, fresh to death. There's gonna be times when y'all see me and I'm like that, but on average you're gonna see me like this and Dickies. I ain't talking the Dickies that you see, the real slick Dickies when they claim fresh black Dickies. No, I'm talking about them ashy Dickies. You know, because in the men washed 3 or 4 times, I done laid on the ground, had to turn over under a sink or something in these Dickies. I'm talking about Dickie pants with my knees, you know, a little ashy because I done been on my knees doing work and things of that nature. Yeah, I'm talking about that type of, you know, them type of Dickies. Yeah, I'm talking about them type of Carhartts because I'm outside dealing with 20-degree weather and having to shovel whole properties and things of that nature, and then get off from shoveling properties to go into my mother's house, get off from one whole location and go over to my mother's house because my mother has her own business that's ran from her home, and I need to make sure that she's able to continue her business, that her business doesn't have to slow down because of weather and things of that nature. So I get off my job working 16, 17, and 18 hours from taking care of certain things, from handling my business at one account, and then go to my mother's house and take care of what they got going on, and then go to my own house, dig my wife's car out, dig our walkways and things of that nature, porch back and front. You know, yeah, that type of thing, true grit. And I ain't talking about just the guy that get up, go out here and just hire somebody else to do it. Now that's cute if that's what you're doing. You reach a certain level, you got it like that. That's good. But I'm talking about the men that's used to these. The men that's used to working these. The men that's used to working these. The men that's used to working these. The men that used to putting things on their back and really getting it done. That's what we talking about. I want to bring that back. You know, I want to bring that back. Ain't nothing wrong, and don't let people fool you. Now listen, working and having your own business doesn't have to be on 2 different playing fields. You can work and have your own business. I oftentimes tell folks this. Most tradesmen in general, that's what they do. Most tradesmen have their own business, have their own LLCs and things of that nature. They're doing pretty good for themselves and still has a job. And the benefit of that is, one, job helps pay for benefits in general. You have a steady job that pays for benefits. It's something that you can do, and the thing is, because you have your own business, you do a job that you actually like. You do a job that you can actually tolerate. You're not doing it just because you have to. You do it because you truly enjoy it. Because if you don't, you have the option to leave because you're doing your own thing. You're doing your own thing. You understand what I'm saying? That's the point that you want to get to. But don't ever let somebody make you feel like there's something wrong with working. There's something wrong with working. No, that's what we need. We need them blue collar, bad knuckle workers that get down and get dirty. We need them. We make the world go round. Let me tell you something. We make the world go round. Without us, the world would truly crumble and fall apart. I promise it will. But no, the same way we need us blue collar men, we need representation of us in that white collar world too. We need representation at the big tables. That's going to represent us in a manner that's truly uplifting to our communities. It represents us the right way. It represents us with pride and dignity. You understand what I'm saying? That truly have a vested interest in who we are, what things truly matter to us, and how to get us to a higher level. This isn't to discredit or disregard anybody else. This is not what this is about. This is understanding our condition and the things that we're in, instead of constantly hearing it and complaining and complaining and complaining. Actually have comprehensive things that we can do about it, and it starts from the ground up. You know who at the ground. The workers. The workers. We the one keeping the ground level. We the one out there with the tools keeping the grounds level, so that you're able to travel and go about your daily routines. Yeah. But you gotta have that grit. And the point of me saying that is, when I watch different podcasts, I subscribe to different podcasts and different things that I see on YouTube just to educate myself on so much. Like a lot of hours, I'm starting to see a lot of, like even with hunting. When I used to turn on YouTube and go watch hunting things, all I could see was hunting represented by a lot of individuals outside of my race and outside of my culture. I didn't really see it too much with us involved. But you're seeing more and more of hunting and fishing and things of that nature. Not only just with us, but with young men. You understand what I'm saying? Young men that's now raising their families. Young men and their sons and their daughters. And they're coming up and raising their family. And it's a beautiful thing that I'm seeing that now. Because that's a different side that they don't oftentimes show. The narrative that they always want to paint as if, we're just out, we're just strictly in jail and on the streets, on corners selling drugs and things of that nature. We get Nino Browns and straight and all rappers and things of that nature. And this ain't a shot at none of y'all that doing what y'all doing, and that's who y'all are, that's what you is. Listen, I can't tell you who to be or what to be. Only thing I do want to tell you to be is grow up at one point or another and realize there is a higher calling on your life, and you got to figure that out, bro. It's on you to gain that knowledge, understanding, and wisdom of what you are, who you are. Self-knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. I always preach school. School. SKUW. Self-knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, and the importance of it. We have to focus on that. So I challenge y'all to be better with that regard. But I ain't going to harp on that too much, because I want to get back to who we are and our people, what we look like, and what we're representing. There's nothing wrong with the hip-hop culture by any stretch of the imagination. I said that twice. And the reason I'm saying it is because that's the only thing that we're representing with over-representation in media. But if you start digging on these channels and on these YouTubes, you start to figure out and see that we're multifaceted. You start to see it, and it still ties in. We can be out there fishing on the water. We can be out there fishing on the water, whole camouflage outfit by, what's that thing called? Mazio, whatever it's called. Whole camouflage outfits fishing on the water, or hunting wild boar. Hunting wild boar. Seeing more and more people getting more and more into guns and ammunition and getting more into self-defense. And you're starting to see that more and more. More and more. You're starting to see us within that field more and more. And it's not that we wasn't doing it before. It just was an under-representation of that in media. And now it's starting to show face because we're truly showing who we are. We're more than just hip-hop. But even within that, we still bring that flavor. Yeah, you still look at them, you still listen to them, you can still hear it in their voice, the slang that they use, the vernacular that they may use, the colloquialism that they may use. You can still hear it in their voice and the words they use, the way they choose to use it. Sometimes the words, how we often mean it, isn't always how mainstream individuals would use it. Isn't always politically correct, but it's how we talk. It's a mutual intelligibility between us and our culture. So even when we're within those fields, we still have a certain language or lingo that we abide by, that we speak by, you know what I mean? And that we speak with. That's who we are. We can never take hip hop from our culture. It's almost impossible. Now, you will get pockets of individuals that just strictly have never grown up on hip hop and cared very little for it, but on average, that's not what you're going to get from our culture or our people. It's a very part of us. It's a part of our fabric. But I still, like I said, I wanted to represent that blue collar guy. I wanted to represent that blue collar guy because a lot of our podcasts and a lot of our shows and things of that nature that I see is only hip hop. It's strictly hip hop. You see ball players and things of that nature. I love, like, what is it? All the Smoke. I love that. I love I Am Athlete. I love it. I love the pivot with Shannon and Ryan Clark and my man Fred. I love those podcasts. I mean, it's so many. It's hard. I love the shot with LeBron. You feel me? I like Noid thing. I like with what's my man Wallow. I like with my man Wallow and my man from Philly. I'm sorry, I can't think of all these people. Man, you know I know who you is, Gilly. But you know, yeah. I love what they doing. But I want to show another side. And that's the purpose that I'm bringing. I'm gonna show y'all the other side. I'm gonna show y'all the ones that's getting out there, getting in the mud from the mud. That's not to say that they haven't, but they don't show that side. Oftentimes that when you get with them, they strictly talking business. And that's one positive thing. I love Mike Rashid and what I see that man doing. You understand what I'm saying? He either in that gym or he focusing on NFTs or in uplifting the individuals that come from his community, if as many individuals as he possibly can. You know, I love Brother Ben X. I watch and pay attention to them. I pay attention to you guys. And it's multiple other ones. I'm just naming people that look like me. So don't get it misconstrued. I watch them white guys too. Plenty of them. I follow and subscribe to plenty of them because it's so informative. I get a lot of information from doing it, but this is me speaking to my culture, to my people right now, with regard to what I feel my duty is and what my duty with regard to this podcast and this channel. I said podcast, I'm sorry, it's not a podcast, but this channel, I want to represent that. That's what we're going to represent. The dog house. I want to represent that dog. The ones that get us through. Everybody hates the wolf. Or the dog. That vicious dog. I'm sorry, everybody hate that vicious dog. Until the wolf at the gate. Everybody hate that vicious dog. You know, snarling, growling. Every time you walk past, he's snarling and growling. Get on your nerves, you yell outside, tell him shut up. Yeah, everybody hate that junkyard dog, that band dog. Until the wolf at the gate. Until the wolf is at the gate. And you see their root. And they show their worth. And they lay it all on the line for their families. They lay it all on the line for their families. That's who we are. That's what we represent. I got to show that part. I'm looking for it. I haven't seen it. It's not to say that it don't exist. I haven't seen it. Not on the scale that I'm finna take it to. Not on the scale that I'm finna take it to. So just stick with me. Stick with me. Check me out. I promise we're going to take it here. We're going to take it there. I promise we're going to take it there. Again, this isn't for no big time notoriety. This isn't to try to stunt or be the next big thing up. This isn't about that. I promise you. Everything, this is not what this is about. Now, if it comes, it comes. If it resonates, it resonates. But the purpose of this is to truly get those like-minded individuals that truly care about stepping up and being something bigger in their communities, transitioning certain aspects of the community, showing a different side of who we are, showing the potential of what we could be. Trades can take you so far. Schools and all that, that's cool if you want to go to college and that's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that by any stretch of the imagination. There's nothing wrong with that. But these trades is going to always go around. They're never gonna die. There's very little trades that you get into that's going to be taken from you. Only thing they do is evolve, and you have to constantly evolve with the times. But that's in anything that you do. You have to constantly evolve with times. But it's always money in trades. Always. Like I always say, skills to pay the bill. It's money in these things. Trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell you. It's money in this thing, and it's easy. You get in where you fit in, and then you create your space. I said something. I just said something. You get in where you fit in the beginning, in order to create your space. Meaning you go to these jobs, you work these jobs, you gain the knowledge, you go to them trade schools and things of that nature, gain the knowledge, acquire the knowledge and the skill sets that you need. Work those times and those hours and those hard days and those hard shifts. Work those, and then invest in yourself. Learn the game, and then invest in yourself. And then make a decision whether or not you're going to stay, because your business may come so successful you won't have the time to work for somebody else. Or it may come so successful that you still decide to work for somebody else and just have a few soldiers out there, a few good men, a few warriors out there, because I don't want anything less than working for me. If you ain't a man, if you're not a warrior, if you ain't moral and principled up, I don't want you. I can't use you. I need somebody that's going to stand on solid ground, a solid foundation, that understands who he is, has a firm grasp on who he is and where he want to be. A part of our interview may not have anything to do with your actual skills in the field. I want to know what your head like. You got family. How you feel about your family? Who are you to your family? What role do you play? Do you have kids? Are you in their lives on a regular basis, not every once in a blue stunting on Instagram or otherwise? Are you really in their lives doing what you want to do? What's your goal for yourself and your family down the line? That's the type of men that I want to hire. Somebody that's driven. Somebody that's family orientated. Somebody that doesn't mind being outspoken. I don't need all alphas. There's nothing wrong with. I don't need no betas either. I don't want just no betas. I ain't really dealing with that, but I don't mind sigmas. Somebody that, because me personally, I feel as if I'm a sigma. I jump in between the role. I can play the role of the alpha. It's hard for me not to. But I don't have to be in the limelight all the time. That's the one thing about alphas. Alpha males always got to be in the spotlight. They always got to be right up in the front. They always got to be seen. Everybody got to do what they do. Whereas my business, I don't really even care about being around a whole bunch of people, leading a whole bunch of people, things of that nature. And if I am around individuals, I have an absolute purpose, and I'm serious about that purpose. I don't really talk a whole lot around a whole lot of people. I like to talk to a small group of individuals on meaningful topics. This is my time when I talk to a whole bunch of people. That's y'all. Other than that, I don't want to talk to you about this trend and that trend. Don't talk to me about no little Nas X's. And I'm not with none of that. People that come from where I come from, hard men, gritty men, we don't even know nothing about that. Outside of the fact that it's forced down our throats, but that's not something we really, care about. I don't have nothing to do with that. Don't really even speak on it much. You will never hear me speak on it again. That's not my business. I'm not into none of that. I don't care nothing about none of that. That's that man business. That's them people business. The trending world. I don't care about a Kim, a Kanye, or anything unless they're doing something that truly benefits our people. That truly benefits us. I'm not focused on what the next man or woman is doing unless it's something that benefits us. I'm not focused on the trending topics unless it's something that benefits us. With that being said, I ain't gonna talk y'all heads off. I just had to come back at y'all with another one. We're gonna speak some more on grit. You know what I'm about. Yeah, we in the doghouse. You know what I'm about. I'm gonna work like a dog until I get it. And my focus ain't even about the paper. Don't get it misconstrued. I want it. I want to create a legacy though. That's what my focus is. I'm doing these type of things because I want to create a legacy. I want to be a living legend. If I die today, I'm happy how my life turned out, but I need more. I want to set an example for my kids that I can be so great. I want to be a legend. A legend. I want to die a legend. I want to be legendary in the way I live. And the first way of doing that is, for me, is by exposing myself to so many different things, challenging myself with so many different things that I've never knew even existed because I've lived in a certain box for so long. I've allowed myself to be in a certain box for so long, and oftentimes because our people that come from these harder environments really don't have those resources to get us outside of it. And I say that to say, when I was younger, I love animals. Let me get that. I love animals. When I was, and you might hear me make different animal references to certain things all the time, but I love animals. And when I was younger, I thought I was going to be like one of them guys, you know, that's in the woods or in the forest, chasing behind, or not necessarily chasing behind, but with the camera and narrating, on a whole wolf pack that I followed for 2 or 3 months, or a lion pride in Africa that I followed for 2 and 3 years. Watch the males grow up and get exiled from it. I always wanted to do that, didn't know which steps to take. In my community, who does that? Where do we do that at? Wasn't anybody that I could talk to. Wasn't anybody that I could talk to point me in the right direction. This is the point of the conversation, or the topic of the conversation, so we can start putting out information, as much information as possible, so we can get these kids moving in the right direction. And things are different now. We live in an era of social media, so we literally walk around our phones is literally a computer. We walk around with a computer in our pocket. We can ask Google whatever we want. We can Wikipedia, Google whatever we want, any information that we feel. It's about understanding and having the right questions, though. In order to get the right answers, you got to ask the right questions. In order to get the answers that you actually need that's going to get you to the next level, you have to ask the right questions. You have to ask the right people. You got to get in the right rooms. You got to walk through the right doors. You got to have the right exposure. And that's what it's about. Exposure equals expansion. Exposure equals expansion. Let's get it. To the next episode. Keep up. Stay down. Do man shit. Live strong or die weak. Ain't no pressure. Live from the doghouse. We'll catch up with y'all.